So here we are at the private skate park that we've been building. No, we do not have a quarter pipe yet. Head engineer is doing his thing. He's got to work some magic. He's got to bend some metal, make a perfect transition. He's just going to randomly show up here. He won't even tell us he's coming either when it happens. Today, me and Maddie were sitting here talking and just looking at this setup. And it's overwhelming to see how much we've gotten done. But like at the same time, there's so much more that we want to do now. After we took on this build, like it opened up our eyes big time. We've learned so much putting these ramps together, so much about fabrication and so much about cutting things and so much about trying to put stuff back together the right way. And me and Maddie were talking, we're like, if we could buy a welder, then we could start doing this stuff on our own. And Maddie has an interest in it, and we're gonna go buy one right now.
I think we could weld some pretty sick stuff together. I don't know. I'm talking, I could have, you know, I could be welding for taller. I could weld my new signature frame, you know? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because you have an interest in it.
It's fun. Yeah. I don't know. I've always been curious, like, about it and how it works and everything. And now we have the head engineer helping me out. Ricky is talking in my other ear, letting me know about a bunch of stuff. And I'm just, like, so curious on how it all works. And I would like to learn it. I don't have an interest in being, like, the most professional welder ever. But, like, I would like to know how to do things properly in order to build a ramp. I don't know. It'd just be fun to go to like Home Depot and go grab some material and weld something together to ride. I don't know. The idea of that I think is, it just sounds awesome.
Because the truth is, once we get a welder and Maddie learns how to do it, it's going to be sky's the limit of what we can achieve with this thing. But we have so much to learn. We are just starting out, guys. We don't know really much about anything. We're going to get a MIG welder. That's what we decided on. Yep. And we're going to go to Harbor Freight right now. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you're not gonna like that already. But Ricky is the one that suggested it. He said that the Vulcan welder from Harbor Freight. He told me all about it. Oh, you were just on the phone with him right now? Yeah, perfect. I got situated. I'm really glad to hear. So what did you learn from it?
He said the more you pay, the better it's going to get. That's kind of the way he said it. He picked one out.
Okay, which one did he pick out?
The Big MIG.
The Big MIG by Vulcan?
The Big MIG by Vulcan, and he wants to go for the 215.
It's like 500 something bucks?
No, the first one I was looking at was about 500 bucks.
Yeah,
he's going for the old 879 one.
Okay.
That's what he's trying to explain to me, that it's probably a better option.
Now here's a quick question. Did he talk about using it flux?
Yes, I know about that now.
He said it's not a good idea, right?
He said you could weld flux, but he said I wouldn't recommend it for the things that we're doing. He said that we probably shouldn't, and we should use argon to weld because it's going to be a stronger weld. So if you're just welding like mess around things, you could use flux and it'll stay together and everything. And he said if you do it right, if it's somebody who knows what they're doing, it'll hold together whatever. But the welder he told me to get, you can use both. So he said we should go get a big bottle of argon to use and start out with that. He says it's easier and it'll bond better. But you have the option to not use argon and just put flux wire in there. And you could just weld that as well, just to like play around with in a way, which is kind of cool.
So if that's the case, are we even going to bother going to Harbor Freight then? Or should we just go to the place that has the welders and the gas?
Do they sell welders?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So we definitely have to go get the argon from there though. The welder, I mean, he made it seem like he found a really good one for us. And he just said, make sure it's a 240.
So 240.
He said we need that 240 plug.
So we're going big. I thought we were doing I thought we were going to do a 120.
No, he said the 120. He said is like it's like dirty energy is the way he said about it. So he said if we have the generator and we could run the 240 or the 220, whatever it is, that's the better option. Okay. He said, because Scott told me yesterday, he said, we should get one where we don't have to buy another one if we get into this.
True.
So we have to kind of figure out where we want to be price-wise.
We don't want to go too cheap.
We don't want to go too cheap.
But
and
we want to go good enough.
We also don't want a million things that we have to set up every time because we have no idea what we're doing. We want the easiest one for the best price.
All right. Well, I think we got enough information. Let's go do this. Scott. We left with intentions of buying a Hyundai, a used Hyundai, okay? Very used. Maybe even a Kia, like Dom's Kia, okay? That's what we left. Kia gang. And we came back with the Mercedes. We got the Miller-Matic 211. I thought it was 900.
The dude was really proud of us buying it though.
He was.
This is great to start out.
Good start. Really start. Everything about this just didn't work out.
We're having issues, guys.
We're having issues everywhere right now. So, Matt, show them the plug.
All right, so we got this plug. We do not have this plug anywhere. We tried to hook it up in the generators. We tried to find adapters. We can't find adapters. And my dad's got every plug in his garage. We don't have this.
And we have Ricky.
And we have Ricky.
And he couldn't help us with this.
He's like, still not going to work.
So I went to Home Depot in Howell, went there, no such thing. There's nobody there to help me. I'm walking through every aisle about 14 times. And I see this guy who looked like an electrician in the aisle. And I said, excuse me, you know electric? And he's like, yeah. And I said, does this exist? He's like, you're not finding that here. He even helped me try to find it, couldn't find it. So I went to the electrical supply place they told me, Cooper Electric in Freehold. I went there, said it was open till 5. Nobody's there. And I called the place in the parking lot 100 times. Nobody answered. Okay, great. So Ricky calls the place that we got this welder from. He's like, I got it. Don't worry. No problem at all. So he stays open an extra 4 minutes for me to get there. I raced on down there with the Prius. Prius was maxed out. Get down there. I look at the plug and I'm like, you sure it's the right one? Did you talk to him about it? He's like, don't worry. It's the right one. So I bring it back. Not the ideal one. It's not the right one that's going to work for our generator. Fantastic. $120 later for a plug, by the way. I come back here and the guys are like, well, check this out. The door doesn't close because there's a dent in it. This is ridiculous, man.
It's hitting our spin wheel inside. That's
This
the
is
issue.
so ridiculous. I am $2,500 in on the day right now. I got a sweet looking setup. Oh, by the way,
Oh,
This
those
one-
things that he sold us on.
he said you guys are going to need some extra tips.
That's
what I
That's
said.
exactly what he said.
Yeah,
So, Rick, what's the matter with these tips?
They don't fit. They're not the right one for the cord.
it's the wrong
Just
thread.
because it says Miller on it doesn't mean it works with everything Miller. It's like buying a Euro bottom bracket and getting like an American bottom bracket. Like it looks like it should work, it's just not. It doesn't.
It doesn't plug into the generator, but it does plug into the Tesla charger that we have. But we didn't want to like weld right
It's not
here.
gonna help us. We're not
It's
gonna weld in here all day.
Exactly.
We're
We got
not only gonna weld next to the Tesla charger, unfortunately.
no possible
We
way.
need to work with generators.
It's just everything. I just can't even handle today. I spent all my day racing around trying to do this, and we still don't have a welder. We have professional Ricky Hofmann here to help us get everything set up. Look how awesome it looks, man. That looks legit. We look like we know what we're doing, even though we don't. Because Ricky was making fun of us. He said, well, everybody does is they get their welder and they build their own welding stand. No, the guy talked me into getting a $70 stand right here, man.
It's a nice stand.
It's a pretty nice stand.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's a lot better than I can weld.
So that was our best thing that our best purchase of the day.
With extra
Yeah,
hardware.
if anything,
Extra
we're returning
hard,
everything
fantastic.
else and we'll keep the stand.
That's life, isn't it? You know, like here I am complaining about that. But at the same time, I had a lot more to complain about almost 5 years ago to the day. So I'm not too worried. Life goes on, but you know, it's just annoying when you think that things are gonna go smooth. You're gonna have Ricky doing a welding tutorial for everybody. Maddie's gonna become Mike Laird tonight. Like it was just that was our game plan today, and it just fell flat in its
new frame
face.
by tomorrow.
Life goes on. We'll continue on tomorrow. Day number 2, and guess what, guys? We got the same welder with the dent in the door, all right? We went to the place. They're going to warranty the door. Ricky's looking at it. He's like, how do you take a door off? He's like, do you have to just replace the whole outside piece? I honestly don't know, man. We will find out. And we're going to learn how to weld today. This is going to be awesome. Having Ricky, who is a professional welder, this is what he does for a living. He's going to be breaking it down, explaining it the best that he can, so hopefully we can make some progress. When I say we, I plan on trying to do it a little bit as well. So we're going to set up the lights and stuff on this table over here. Ricky said this is a metal table, so we'll be fine. We have a piece of steel set up, and it's time to get welding right now. So here's our setup, man. It's just a piece of angle iron. Why are we just doing a piece of angle iron, Rick? Do you care to explain?
Clearly, Maddie has a lot of experience already welding out there, as you guys saw from the other channel. So I figured we'd skip flat plate and go right into just welding in this angle right in here. And the goal is to just make sure that he can put a nice little bead inside there. And once he can set a nice little bead inside here for the top and bottom, then we'll get him welding multiple pieces together.
Okay, cool.
I think this should be step
Now I have
one.
a couple questions.
Yeah.
Because I've been around welding a little bit.
Yep.
This is what I wanted to know right here. What is this thing called?
That's the
Rick?
ground clamp.
And explain the ground clamp. What does it have to attach to when you're welding?
It has to be something metal that is also touching whatever metal product that you are welding, because the electricity has to flow through it and back to the welder to make the complete circuit. So it could be on this table because this table's metal. It can be on here. Like anything that's metal attached to this that's heavy enough gauge that it will not melt through will be fine. Maddie wanted to attach it to a soda can before, and
know,
I
I was
think that's
asking.
gonna melt through.
Because I said, okay, so I could attach it here. And he goes, yep. So I could attach it here. He goes, yeah, as long as it's touching. So I said, if I put a soda can on there, can I attach the soda can? He says, yeah, but it'll probably melt the soda can.
It's a valid question now.
Yeah.
I was
It
just
is
curious.
valid.
Hey, you never know the situations we might be in.
Now, is there anything you need to be scared about when there's like electricity flowing?
I mean, you don't really
Technically,
want to be standing in water. That would be a big one to
All right.
not do. And
Something.
everything's going to get hot. So just, be ready to burn
So
it.
like,
Recommend gloves?
so will this heat
I
up
recommend gloves.
pretty good?
Not the whole table. Maybe like this little area where we're welding at.
Yeah.
But really not the whole table itself.
Okay.
No, we'll be fine.
Another question. What do you think about Maggie's custom helmet here?
It's a nice little unit. A little Chicago electric.
Is that
It's got the dim on the outside.
that's a decent company?
Rick said he's got the same one.
It's good enough.
You have the same one?
No, I don't. For sure don't.
Okay.
And, this should be good.
Okay.
It'll be good enough. It's perfectly fine.
What about these?
Those are good. It's still sweaty from last time.
They are a little.
So I think the way that we'll do this, I think we should have Rick kind of like do an exemplary weld, right?
Yeah, we'll
And then-
test the welder out.
so.
I've never used an auto wire speed system before.
Yeah, well,
Which is what it's set on?
I could walk you through it because I had the guy at Miller today. The rep was actually at the place, and he was explaining this to me today, and it seemed pretty easy to use. The wire speed thing is I do not know anything about though.
Right. That's basically how fast the wire
He
is
told
coming
me.
out of the gun.
Okay, so he said the kind of wire that it was. He said so
030.
it's 030. So
Right.
you leave that on 030 right
And it's
there.
like these are going to be the auto sets for 024, 030, and 035.
Mm-hmm.
Auto set weld wire on, which is good. Maybe, I don't know. I've never used one before. I've always manually set up my machines.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've really never used a newer unit. All the stuff I use at work
Wow.
typically is old.
Yeah, so we got some new stuff for you here, Rick.
We'll see how it works. And if it doesn't
And then
work,
the
I'll turn it off.
gas, and then the gas. He said we're doing like 75-25, right?
Yep,
Is
so
that-
C25.
So that's good right there, C25. And then the thickness, he
Yep.
said you can float around in between there.
Yeah.
Figure it out. So
I figured 3/16 would be good to start, and we'll make adjustments from there.
Cool. Let's do this.
So just to be fair, there is no Bluetooth welder. I just want to concur. I just looked it up. It's not a real thing.
When did anybody think there was a Bluetooth welder, Matt?
Well, I was just thinking of
What's up with that helmet up there? Is that
That's
the
my
back?
unit.
That's
what
yours?
I said. It's
Yeah.
the creepiest
Dude,
thing
it
ever.
looks like
Oh,
something out of a
costume.
horror movie.
Literally,
This is my unit. This is
That's your thing, huh?
This is the $35 Amazon special. This is what I use one for side jobs. I have a very similar one at work, though. It's called a Tiger helmet.
It's
And
not like an
just-
auto dimmer or anything?
No.
You're a beast.
Nope, nope.
That one was sick, huh?
Yeah, that's really
Nothing
good.
else?
Customized.
Or
Cool. Or this.
this is like what the guy wore from like Lethal Weapon. The guy with the flamethrower.
Oh yeah, that's
Some-
Maybe that's
Similar,
what it
right?
makes me think of.
yeah. I think you're right.
Dude, it's just
That's
creepy as can be.
it really is. Man.
Literally no electronics at all.
It's just black, huh?
no, freaky.
I love how dirty the thing is, but what's the point, right?
Yeah, I mean, you typically want this as clean as you can be, but the last job I did was all overhead, so it was all just falling on me.
If it works, it works, right?
That's right. All right,
Cool.
Let's try it out. I'm sure the stuff that you guys are welding is not going to be the cleanest ever, so.
Rick, we're trying to do this professionally, man.
Listen, I get it, but the last professional setup I came here to weld with was not.
Was what? Rick? Was what?
Not up to par, but
It could've
times have
been better.
changed. I told you, I went for the Hyundai, came back with the Mercedes, man. We look official.
Hyundai showed
And I'm
up
glad we
before
got this
you,
cart.
Alright,
So explain what you're doing right now. You just
I just clipped like a little bit of off, so this way I don't have like a bunch of it out, so this way I can start and just be. Because argon flows out of here, and you want all your welding to be contained in the argon. This way it is blocked from the oxygen.
okay.
Let's
So
see what happens.
we're getting this going. Maggie's got his
I'll try the first
helmet
pass
on.
and see how it works.
I'm not going to be looking. I'm just going to be filming. So this should be cool. I like that.
Dude, it's like art what I just saw you do.
That was. I was watching your hand
You
move
just did perfect little circles.
up and down. Oh, look at that. That just looks beautiful right there.
How'd it feel, Rick?
Actually, it went very well.
Is it a nice welder?
Yeah,
so
so
far?
it like you can see in the front right here in the beginning because it's on the auto sensing. It took a second to figure out how much wire to feed into it for the heat that I'm using, and then once I figured it out, it's pretty dialed all the way through actually.
So what was your motion on that?
This was just like small,
And I saw you
small like little controlled circles. Like hold the top, swing down to the bottom. Hold the top, swing down to the bottom, and you hold the top because this is a liquid as it's coming out.
Goes downward.
So it's gonna, gravity's gonna pull it down. So
That
you
would
hold the
make
top for a second, swing to the bottom. Hold
feeling
the top,
good about
swing
this,
to the
Matt?
bottom. But you could do circles. You could do
He
left
made it
to
look
right.
really easy. He made it look really, really
You
good.
could do circles like this. You could do left to right. You could do ends up and down. You can.
And once again, how far do you keep the metal away from it while you're doing it?
So it was probably about that far, maybe a little.
That was really close, dude.
Yeah, about that.
No way.
It's already here.
The head engineer just showed up. We got the quarter pipe. Thought you said tomorrow.
I lied. That's amazing.
All right, Matt. Well,
That's great.
we've proven that it can work, and now it's
Yeah, you ready to give it a go? I think it's the only
so
thing we can do.
nervous. My heart's beating.
Come on,
fast.
let's do it.
I feel good with a new welder though. Compared to that last thing.
Really good.
Compared to that
Great.
last
It looked fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's perfect.
See, now
So
this sweaty
far,
from
so
you,
good,
Rick.
guys.
So do that.
So the
if you're gonna
angle
do
is-
Because I'm
the
wondering,
edge.
like, I feel like I could just slide or something.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of feels.
And so if you were using it right hand, Rick, did
Yeah.
you went to the right?
So you want to have a little bit angle forward, so you're pushing the metal as you're going with it.
Okay.
You could be almost straight up and down with it with the MIG gun. It doesn't matter too much for this, but you want to have a slight angle forward, constantly pushing forward.
Pushing through
Pushing.
it.
Yeah, like a
Pushing
little
towards
bit.
it, yeah.
For what we're doing right now, like instead of being straight 90 like this, you could be like about that.
All right.
Okay, that's
Well, I
really
guess we'll
interesting.
try it then, right?
That's all we can do,
What's the
man.
worst that can happen?
I
Tell you what, the best that can happen is look at that. That is beautiful, man. Come on.
This is a big moment. Ready?
Matt's gonna be the channel fabricator, you know. So this is his first weld on the new machine.
Going in.
Big moment right here, guys.
what
Let's
you
see what you got. That's exactly what I was thinking, Rick.
All right. Okay. Hold on. Just before. I'm just thinking about. Wait. This is a real
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Should I touch the tip before I hit the button?
No.
So I'm
No.
hitting
That's
the
a good
button
question.
And
No.
then hit.
Yeah, so technically what you want to do also, hit the button
Ooh, that's
for
a good
second.
question.
So, all right.
Hit the button.
Technically what you want to
Oh.
do is if stuff really, really, really matters, you want to like cut the dirty part of that off, because that could affect the start and end of your weld. But nothing that you guys are going to be doing is
I
going
promise,
to be
yeah.
up to that
That's
level.
good to know.
But
Really
if
good
it
to
would
know,
mess,
okay?
but you're saying it would affect the weld quality, but it would
Yeah.
still weld though.
Perfectly
technically.
fine.
Got
Yeah.
you.
All right. So I'm just picking my distance and shooting the button
Yep.
till the wire hits the subject.
Yeah, so be
Okay.
where it is right now, because the wire is basically almost inside of the tip
Yeah.
right now. You want to be about this close.
And how far do you want that out? Though,
Probably about
technically?
that
Would you?
close
Wouldn't
right
you
there.
feed that out further
All right,
then,
so
if that
pretty
was the
dang
case?
close.
No, because once you start shooting, it's going to self-feed.
Yeah, because
And that's
Yeah,
what
that's
that's
crazy
the
though.
object.
I feel like it's too far to arc though, wouldn't it? At that
Now,
point?
once you hit this button like this, because
Yeah.
it only takes
Okay.
once
so,
it touches the metal.
So by the time
Yeah.
it'll start reacting when it gets there.
Yep.
And then
Understood.
so when you start a weld, should you stay in one spot for a second?
You
to
can let it heat up, but this is thing's gonna start feeding pretty fast. So once it starts feeding
so then
fast, you
start
gotta start
working.
moving.
All right. Okay, now I'm ready.
Now
Okay,
we're ready.
good.
All right,
I'm
so
glad.
we're going in.
We're going in.
Keep it about a 1/4 inch back.
I don't know what a 1/4 inch is.
Here, want me to get the tape measure?
Yeah. My elbow got stuck to the table. I felt really good in the beginning, and then my elbow got really
It's
stuck.
not bad.
Rick, honestly,
bad,
dude,
though.
that looks pretty.
Yeah.
That looks pretty legit.
That's not bad.
See that messed up section?
Not really.
You know the squiggle down?
That looks pretty good.
I felt really good in the beginning, and then my elbow got stuck, so I went.
Dude, I am like so impressed
not
right
bad.
now, man.
That's not bad. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
There you
How's
go.
our machine look?
right?
Pretty
Try out
cool.
the new machine. Yeah, good. How like the center of your weld is very like raised
Yeah.
up, and it's not really into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
metal. It's because your circles were very small, so you weren't getting in. Mine were up to down, up to down, up to down.
So you're saying they were too tight in the middle? They need to go to the edge more.
Yeah, because you want the metal to flow into what you're welding onto.
As a disclaimer, I don't have good dexterity in my right hand, so like I can't really squeeze it too well. So I can't feel the throttle, so I'm gonna have to watch the throttle while I do it. So this should be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's just an on-off single click.
Yeah,
No, like
I just can't confidently see where it is.
Oh, know where it is.
Yeah, that's my only thing. Oh my god, get closer. Closer? Yeah. Closer. There you go. I see it.
Yeah.
Get a little closer. There you go. Oh, okay, I get it now. I was so scared of like getting too close.
yeah, that it wasn't.
But at
conducting.
the end, when you were saying closer, I'm like, holy crap, I get it.
Oh, see, look at how bad the beginning was, and then it smoothened out
Yeah,
so
like it started
much
making
more.
a little bit more sense. So
Way better.
not bad though.
That's not bad at
Give it
all.
a second take.
Ready, sit. Why didn't you go a little closer? There you go.
Well, there's second weld.
All right. Well, that's cool. That
Which
fun.
wasn't bad at all,
That
dude.
was fun.
It was not bad at all.
Well, we got a welder, and now sky's the limit, really. Maddie's going to be practicing nonstop. He knows pretty much what to do settings-wise, at least for now. But as time goes on and we come up with things that we're actually going to be building, that's when things are going to get a little more complicated. But today, head engineer showed up, and we had no idea he was coming, and we have the quarter pipe, so we can actually go put it into place right now. And wish we can weld it, but we can't. Not until we get our extension cord, guys. So, but we can at least set it into place, which is pretty cool. So let's go do that right now. So here it is, guys, our 6-foot quarter pipe. So Bob made this thing 12 foot wide, just like we asked him to. Just kidding, it was 8. I just want Bob to say what?
No, I know it's 8.
Yeah, just kidding.
Everything there is 8.
Everything's 8, but it looks awesome. He welded all together with the steel, so much fabrication. He did a fantastic job, especially doing it in like 4 days, which is crazy. He told me he was going to bring it tomorrow, and then he just shows up today, and it's ready to go, which is...
going to dump off the trailer and leave.
Now you got involved in the process.
This is great. I'm so excited to put this thing in place, and tomorrow we can weld it. Brooklyn's not here today, so we're doing the best we can. Maddie, very amateur driver. Not ideal, but we're going to make it work.
Not bad at all.
All we need to do is sheet this thing, and the Skatepark version 1 is going to be complete. So things didn't go as planned yesterday, but we're finishing today on a high note for sure. We got a welder that works. Maddie looks like he's actually capable of welding stuff. We got the quarter pipe in place. We're gonna be sheeting this thing tomorrow. BK's gonna be over here. He's gonna be so psyched. He'll get this thing done in a jiffy, and he'll be riding it. I'll get him to do a tail up gap, maybe even a double tail transfer. But guys, just get ready for the next video. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.